Hey Lynbays, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lyntrell and this is Lyntrell Official, where I help women entrepreneurs grow their business and attract their target audience so they can get consistent sales. Today, I am so excited to be talking about how to be more consistent in your business. In order to get a lot of things done, as entrepreneurs, we have so many things to do. And in order to get it all done, we will have to learn how to be consistent. Our business is going to rely on how consistently we can do processes that need to be done. When I ask entrepreneurs what is typically standing in the way of them, their business, and getting to the next level, it's usually being consistent and then time management next. The reason why I'm going to talk about being consistent first is because you can't manage your time if you're not consistently doing anything. We want to start there. Being consistent is more of a mindset shift more than anything else. So everybody's consistent with something. We just don't often realize that we have consistently been doing something. For me, I realized very early that I was consistent with being inconsistent. I consistently fell through on trying to be more consistent. Trying to combat that and figure out how to move forward, I first had to acknowledge that I had over and over and over again fallen off track. That was important because if I want to be able to be more consistent, I have to know when and where I typically lose my way. Another mindset shift I had to implement in my life was to start to convict myself. I had to start to attach feelings and emotions to the outcomes that would come from me not being consistent. I started to look at it as everything's a matter of choice. Everything is a decision. Every day we're deciding to move closer to our goals or move further away from our goals. Me being inconsistent obviously was taking me further away. And in my mind, the emotion I attached to that was, if I do not complete these sets of tasks or complete these things and be consistent with this area of my business, am I okay with not reaching my goals? Most of us are not going to be okay with that. I had to shift that into saying, I'm not okay with not reaching my goals. What could make this more enjoyable to reach my goals? I had to attach some type of emotion to it because just putting the words out there to be consistent was not helping me. When you have a habit or a pattern of being inconsistent, there needs to be something there to create a sense of urgency in your life or a sense of emotion that's strong enough that means now this is more important, or I want this more than that. So I want to reach my goals much more than I want to be comfortable at this phase in my business. Another way to convict yourself is to look at your entire situation, the overall picture, and ask yourself two questions. Do you truly believe that you deserve more? And are you tired of not getting what you feel like you deserve? Those two questions helped me snap out of things real quick. When I was tired of not getting the things that I felt like I deserved, I knew I had to make an immediate change because I knew that meant that I was choosing to be ordinary and I was choosing not to go after my goals. And for me, that was a huge problem. I always wanted to go after my goals. I always wanted to run and chase my dreams down. But once I realized that I was directly putting myself into a situation to choose the opposite, then I had to make a shift. Now, there are two facts that you absolutely want to get out of the way and you'll have to be able to get over. And those are, you will be tested. In order to get anything different than you've ever had, you're going to have to be very comfortable being uncomfortable, meaning that you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone and do the opposite to get those different results. If you normally don't read, read. If you normally wake up late, wake up early. It's really a very simple mindset shift and then a zap or a change in your daily behaviors. A really fun fact is usually we make changes on things that absolutely have started to frustrate us. So until it frustrates you enough to make a change, then it's very likely that you could be stuck in that situation. Something has to really bug you to make a change in most cases. So think about, like, if you need to do laundry at home, or you need to straighten up, or if your alarm has been going off, like your smoke detector or something, and a lot of us will allow it to just beep, 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 beep. The battery is needing to be changed and we ignore it for months. And then eventually it's like, you know what, this is getting on my nerves. Let me make a change. And then immediately we snap out of it. That is how going after your business and goals and being more consistent is going to have to become. It's going to have to say, you know what, I'm waking up. I'm not getting what I want out of life. My day-to-day life does not look like I thought it would, or it doesn't look like it looks in my head or how I envisioned myself living, and then snap out of it. It is really that simple. Another thing, I know this one is going to sound very cliche, but it is so true, and it's monumental in you being able to be more consistent or falling off track again this time, right? Getting rid of distractions is going to be huge if you want to crush being consistent. For one, this is a new thing that you're trying, and it's a new habit you're trying to build and create. And think about how easily we become, that means it doesn't come natural to you. And so you actually have to think about it to do it. If I have to think about it and then I become distracted, now I fall back into what comes natural to me. Eliminating those distractions that are around you are going to really help you focus, and it's going to help you be able to clearly think about what you need to do to be more consistent. One of the main reasons that I see entrepreneurs become distracted is because they have not fully developed their vision. Sometimes in our mind, we have something that we hope to have in life or where we hope to end up, but we haven't developed that. And it's much more of just a picture. We haven't built it out to make it make sense and touch it, feel it, be able to walk into it. Then therefore it seems far away. Once we develop our vision, it brings that more close to us, and it makes it feel more attainable, more like we can hold it in the palm of our hands, and then we are much more likely to go after things that we feel like we can actually reach. Another reason is because we have now learned to do way too many things at one time. We have learned we're on the phone, we're driving down the street, we're talking to the kids, we're trying to make appointments for next week, we're thinking about birthdays and events that we have to go through. It's just so many things going on at once, and it's like, how do you make it stop? We have allowed distractions to completely take over our better judgment in a lot of cases because there are so many things to do, and we've learned to do so many things at once. A lot of us don't get the luxury of focusing on one thing. We're being pulled in so many different directions that we have to attend to everything. So then now, indirectly, we're distracted. It's easy to fall back into those things that come natural to us. Another thing is to clear your mind so you can stop being busy and being more productive. Getting things out of your head into some type of journal or into some type of form that you have on your computer, or just taking notes of it. Mental notes will drive us crazy. And I know we always say I'm going to take a mental note of something, but me, I'm very creative and I have brain overload, and I'm walking down the street or I'm doing something, driving or whatever, and I have hundreds of ideas bursting into my mind. And now I can't stop and write them all down. Obviously, I'm trying to figure out how I can remember them, and then I'm less present in the moment because I'm trying to remember everything that I need to write down once I get into that space where I can do so. Another thing about distractions is they usually keep you stagnant or where you are because they can cloud the pain of not being where you want to be. Think about those who participate in bad behaviors to cloud the pain of them being hurt or them being not where they want to be in life, and usually they'll start to partake in things that can not be great for them. Ultimately, you'll want to redirect your focus because energy flows wherever your focus goes. So wherever your focus is where your energy is going to be as well. What I mean by that is if I'm focusing on my business and I'm focusing on attracting more clients and I'm focusing on being consistent and all of those things, that my energy is now diverted to that. We can try to multitask as much as we like, but ultimately our attention is going to be given to one thing more than something else. Even if we try to spread ourselves thin across multiple projects at once, one of those projects is going to get more of our attention than the others. And lastly, remove any and everything from your life that is distracting you. That could be additional television shows, additional movies, additional outings this month, additional people in your life, anything that is holding you or frustrating you or annoying you, and you have to stop and give attention to that, is going to distract you from what you need to actually be giving your attention to. I also want to talk about following your heart. Take one really, really amazing idea and leave all the other little small ones behind. Because what we tend to do as entrepreneurs, many of us are super creative. And so we have all of these ideas that we've been thinking of that would be amazing to put into the marketplace. Being consistent is going to rely on you being able to focus. The one way to be able to focus is to get rid of all those extra things that are pulling at you that you need to research, you need to figure out, you need to learn, you need to try to develop and build out one amazing thing, and then be consistent with that. Wake up, do your content with that, actively go after opportunities for that particular thing, make an entire plan around that one amazing idea. Trying to do all of these little ideas are ultimately many separate businesses in most cases. It doesn't mean that you have to completely do away with all of those amazing ideas. You can come back to them absolutely at a later time. But for right now, in order to be consistent, you have to be able to focus. Being able to focus and find one amazing idea and running 10,000% with that one amazing idea is going to be very, very helpful in being consistent. Another thing, get crystal clear on what you want. Many times I talk to entrepreneurs and I ask them what they want out of life, and first they start off with what they don't want. They start to tell me all the things they don't want in life instead of being very, very clear on what exactly they do want. So being clear on what you want is also going to help you be able to focus and follow your heart. One of the ways that I like to look at that particular aspect is, what do you really want? Ultimately, where do you want to end up? What is your end goal? How does it feel to have that in your life? Many of us don't know how it would feel to have it, obviously, because we don't have it, we haven't had it. So envisioning what you think it would feel like to have that would also attach your heart and an emotion to being closer to that goal, which ties back into the emotion of wanting to wake up and do something each day that gets you closer to that feeling. One of the things that really helps me, and this is just a bonus that I'm going to throw out there, is meditating in the morning and envisioning myself where I want to be. For example, if I want to wake up, and everybody doesn't want big, nice things or, to be in any particular situation. So this is not custom. This is your vision, your life, how you want it. But imagine waking up in the exact home that you wanted, driving down the street with your hair blowing in the wind with the exact car that you want. That is how clear you want to be on how it feels to have that. I meditate in the mornings, and for about 10 to 15 minutes, I live that moment. I live exactly what it would look like for me to live in my dream home, how I would wake up, how I would make breakfast, how I would take on my day. Would I park in my garage, pavement, or how does that look? How does it feel? The more you get attached to that feeling, it's going to be very easy to start being consistent with your actions every day, because now you are like, oh my God, I gotta have that. Have you ever walked into a grocery store and tasted something and it was amazing, like those little samples that they give out, and you're like, oh my God, I gotta have that, and then you buy it? It's much like that. It's like a sample every single day that I have with myself. And I wake up and I'm like, oh, getting into the car. I envision myself opening the door, getting into my dream car, sitting at, my dream places throughout that day, or however you envision your life. This is your life, but I recommend really being able to walk into that space every single day. The more time you spend there, you start to feel it. You start to thirst for it. You start to become hungry for it. You need it in your life. And then it becomes an attachment. And every day you go after things that pull you closer to that. If you notice me, when you talk to me, I talk about very specific things. It is so easy to do something consistently when it's in your heart. Think about the things you love. We do them without even thinking about it. And so when it becomes a part of your heart and it becomes a part of a feeling and an emotion that's attached to it, it's easy to wake up and do it, because now you have to have it. Be intentional and plan things out. I typically used to fall off track when it came to getting overwhelmed. If I get overwhelmed, I'm go back to what I know, right? And that can be winging it in most cases. The more detailed we can be in the planning phase, the less we have to try to figure out on the spare of the moment. One thing for me is to be super intentional and to be having everything organized and planned out. If I don't do that, I will fall off track and become inconsistent with something. Because you're clear on your vision now, you can be consistent with planning it out. We're much more likely to get things that we've planned or prepared for. When you know where you want to end up in life, it is super easy to map out a way to get there. When you just have a broad idea or a very general image of where you want to go, then you don't really know how to get there. And that's another huge thing. A lot of people feel stuck. A lot of business owners feel like, I know I want to have this, but I don't know how to get there. Starting to be crystal clear on exactly what you want and where you want to end up will help you map those steps there, just like getting a college degree. Obviously, if you want to get a college degree, then you know you need to put steps in place to be able to attend college. You just want to, say for instance, get a good job, that could mean anything. That's way too broad. That could mean going to college. That could mean getting a trade. You want to narrow down exactly where you want to end up, and then you can build those steps to get you there. Another thing about the planning phase is when you have things planned out, you know exactly what you should be doing every day, and it's easier to manage your time. These two go hand in hand, and a lot of people think being consistent and time management are totally separate, but they really are married. Once you are able to be clear on where it is you want to go, you can be consistently and proactively going after that, but then it helps you manage your time because now you know exactly what you need to be doing each day, and then you also are thinking, okay, well, if I stop doing this or social media scrolling, is that pulling me closer to my dream or pushing me further away? Now it's easier to manage that time. Starting to convict yourself and following your heart and being very intentional is married to managing your time wisely. One of my favorite examples for this is the bake a cake example. If you're baking a cake and you know how, it can be super easy. You probably already have the ingredients at home, and you can easily move into the kitchen and start baking the cake. What becomes overwhelming is when you've got to look up the instructions, you got to go buy the ingredients, you got to make sure you have all the supplies, then you got to learn how to bake the cake. Now you're overwhelmed. Now it's like this is just overload. That is how we become when we don't plan things out. It's like, okay, now I got to post on social media. I've got to try to figure out my products and what I'm going to buy. Now I need money for the business, and I'm trying to figure out how to get press or PR and things like that. It just becomes to be too many things at once. When you plan it all out, then you know where you should be at each phase of the business, which can help you be consistent. It beats being overwhelmed. Lastly, you want to make a routine. You want to stay on top of this by building a routine out. So we already have a routine. Think about the things that you do every single day. Do you wake up, probably brush your teeth, probably wash your face, get dressed, get out the door? That's a routine. Because we already have a routine, we just need to tweak it a little bit. Think of this as more of a lifestyle change and not a fad diet. So not like this month we're going to be consistent and then let it go. This is an entire lifestyle change. Just like losing weight, it will not happen overnight. It's going to take you working at it every single day. I still work at consistency every single day because yes, it's a habit for me now, but in order for me to make it second nature, it's going to take just as long as it took for me to become inconsistent, which is years and years in the building, much like losing weight. A lot of times we eat and eat and eat for years, and then all of a sudden in 1 month we want to lose weight. It doesn't work like that, and it's going to take just as much time in most cases of you building those habits to combat it so that when you do become at this consistent level, you don't fall back into old habits. Just like you built the habit to become inconsistent, you're going to need to reverse that by taking action. So every area of your life where you have been inconsistent, take immediate action to do the opposite of what you were doing. Another thing that really helps me is reviewing my goals. I review my goals every morning and every night, also outside of the meditation. So when I wake up in the mornings, I typically review my goals and then I meditate. The reason why, I need to say it out loud so that it becomes a part of my subconscious mind. Then I need to envision it because I need to feel myself being there. This keeps your goals at the forefront of your mind. Think about all the times you've fallen off track. And a lot of times we've not forgotten our goals, but they're in the back of our mind, and everything that we have to do today is at the front. If you start your day out by reviewing your goals and going to sleep at night by reviewing your goals, it keeps it in the forefront of your mind, and then it's easier to make a decision when you're thinking about turning the TV on, or when you're thinking about telling a friend, yes, you'll go on that extra vacation, or yes, you'll go out to that next brunch or girls' night. In the forefront of your mind means that, you know what, no, I may not be able to attend that because that weekend I need to be pushing my product, or that weekend I need to be building out something or creating my marketing plan because I need this moment. I need to be able to feel my goals. Ultimately, the closer you can feel to your goals, the easier it's going to be to consistently go after them. So I know I've given you a lot of amazing tools and tips here. Go ahead and drop in the comment section which one was your favorite and which one you're going to be implementing in your life and business to be able to move forward. Also, if you are prepared to take your business to the next level and you'd like to attract more clients and more customers in your business so that you can get more sales, drop down in the description box and download my 50 powerful secrets to attract more of your target audience. It's 50 ways that you will start to see traction in your business. It will help you grow your business out. It is literally the same exact thing I did to grow my brands, my businesses, and you'll see a huge change once you go over them and start to implement them. That is key. Don't just get this information, take it, download it, and never use it again. Nothing will work until you do. So until next time, let's get into it.